$2,000 with repayment periods of up to 7 years, giving you the flexibility to take control of your financial future. One loan, one payment, less stress, because financial peace of mind should be simple. Visit
SA students' performance through secondary school. Finance Division says TIC is an opportunity to expand Tobago's private sector, and Cancer Society launches first 5K in Tobago. Good evening, Tobago. I'm Natalie Singh. Thank you for joining us here on Channel 5 and Pulse 89.5 FM for Friday, July 10th, 2026. To our top story now, the Division of Education, Skills and Innovation under Secretary Orlando Kerr is creating a unit in the division to track students' performance from their entrance into secondary schools and continuing each year until graduation. At the secondary entrance assessment exam award and recognition ceremony on July 10th, Secretary Kerr says the class of 2031 could be the first to benefit from the data collected by the Division of Education that's aimed at improving performance throughout the years at school.
We are in the process of implementing our units to collect data, right? Because I think that what we do going forward, we must do it based on information and data rather than just informal how we think things should happen.
Says the unit to analyze and collect information is long overdue and would help to allocate resources better.
And one of the things that we have not done over the years is look at value added. Look at where the students enter the secondary school and where they leave. We generally use a broad brush approach to evaluate schools, to look at just the number of full certificates that they achieve at the end of 5 years. But remember, all the schools are not starting in the same place.
The Secretary says not all schools are starting in the same place. Some schools, he says, receive better quality students, and that's the reality. So the data collection would evaluate key matrices and help make informed decisions to improve overall performance. And 2026 SA results in Tobago were a little bit better than the SA results in 2025, says Secretary of the Division of Education, Orlando Kerr. But the division is aiming at improving student performance even further.
I think this year, we did a little better in language and also mathematics, but we have been looking at some strategies that we want to implement and lift the general standard of performance across Tobago so that we can be above the national mean. So we have some strategies. We have looked at the results, we have analyzed them, and we are going to be implementing some strategies as early as September this year to start getting that whole school development so we can lift our performances across the board.
The division honored 20 of the top performing students at an award and recognition ceremony at Cocoa Reef Hotel. And in his key address, Kerr told students that this is the beginning of a new journey and would be much different from the years in primary school. Kerr's son was among the top 10 boys and 10 girls treated to the luncheon. The Education Division says 14 Tobago schools scored above the national mean in 2026, continuing an upward trend in student performance. The division says that compares with 12 schools in 2025 and 11 schools in 2024, reflecting steady improvement over the past 3 years. Education officials say the results underscore the impact of ongoing efforts to strengthen teaching and learning across the island's primary schools. The division has welcomed the improvement, describing it as evidence of the hard work and commitment of students, teachers, principals, parents, and other stakeholders in Tobago's education system. The 2026 results mark the highest number of Tobago schools performing above the national mean in at least the past 3 years. The Division of Community Development and Social Protection says it is strengthening partnerships aimed at improving the care and protection of children and families in Tobago. According to the division, representatives of the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, it paid a courtesy visit to Assistant Secretary of Community Development and Social Protection, Councillor Akil Franklin, and the Social Protection team on Wednesday, 8th July, at the division's head office. The division says discussions focused on areas of mutual interest, including child protection, family support, and enhancing services for vulnerable children across the island. Among those attending from the division were Senior Program Coordinator Tatiana Ned Augustine, Social Services Counselor Rhea Charles, Manager of the Community Residence for Adolescents Kwame Gordon, and Senior Advisor on Social Protection and Community Resilience Sanisha Ali. The Children's Authority delegation included Acting Director and CEO Rhonda Gregory Rupchan, Manager of Tobago Operations Lynette Bacchus, and Team Lead for Child Welfare Services and Child and Family Reintegration Services Kelly Joseph Batiste. The Division of Community Development and Social Protection says the meeting reflects its commitment to building stronger partnerships, improving support systems for families, and working collaboratively to ensure a safer and more nurturing future for Tobago's children. The Judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago has introduced new rules governing the use of generative artificial intelligence in court. The practice direction issued by Chief Justice Rani Budu Singh took effect on July 8th and provides guidance for judges, attorneys, litigants, witnesses, and other court users on the responsible use of AI within the justice system. The judiciary says the move supports efforts to modernize the courts while ensuring judicial decisions remain rooted in human judgment, fairness, and professional ethics. Under the new rules, AI may be used for drafting and administrative tasks, but users must independently verify all facts, legal authorities, and citations. The use of AI to generate evidence, including affidavits and witness statements, is prohibited except for limited formatting and language assistance. Anyone using AI to prepare court documents must also disclose its use and identify the AI tool involved. The practice direction also prohibits judges from using AI to draft judgments or make judicial decisions and give courts the authority to impose sanctions where the technology is misused. Chief Justice Rani Budu Singh says AI should assist the justice system, not replace human decision-making, adding that the challenge is to ensure the technology is used responsibly while preserving the integrity of the courts. Meanwhile, the Caribbean Court of Justice has issued a new practice direction on the use of generative AI intelligence tools in court proceedings. For example, the court prohibits the generation of the content of affidavits, witness statements, or any other material intended to reflect the evidence or opinion of the opponent or witness or other material tendered into evidence or used in cross-examination. This is news on Channel 5 on Pulse 89.5 FM. We take a short break. When we come back, lots more.
A credit union.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dreams on a team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed. Which run gratitude and you can believe that you can achieve it. Today you can live that dream. Pull up to the job and surprise your week with Grand Credit Union. Yes you can, yes you can.
Come in and live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Welcome to the speed round of getting money right. Let's begin. Name some of the red flags associated with an investment scam.
Pressure tactics to invest.
Correct.
Promise of money if you bring friends.
Correct.
Request for personal information.
Correct. Bonus question. What is the penalty for operating a pyramid or Ponzi scheme?
$10 million and 10 years in prison.
Correct. Well done. The scores are even, so we go to our tiebreaker question. You receive money in your account from an investment company, and they tell you to transfer it to a third account. Does that sound right?
I think about it, and that not right.
Congratulations, you tinker! Getting Money Right is brought to you by the TTSEC. Visit investigatettt.com to access free learning resources and check the TTSEC for a list of registered individuals and securities. The Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. You invest, we protect, everyone benefits.
Hey, as you come in. Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Stephen to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home the whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome back to news here on Channel 5 and Pulse 89.5 FM. The Trade and Investment Convention is an opportunity to expand Tobago's private sector and for businesses to earn forex. That's a feedback from Manager of Strategic Business Development, Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy, Tricia Beckles, on day 2 of the TIC. She says participation in TIC will give opportunities for growth of business, growth of jobs, and lastly, growth of the economy.
What it does at the very beginning, it adds to employment because as these businesses have had to expand their operations, they've had to employ persons. So immediately you see that. And then I think as the system go into place that measures the amount of money they are pouring into GDP overall for the specific Tobago space, you know that it is taking place.
Beckles, the Tobago House of Assembly, assisted with some of the networking, while other networking sessions occurred during the business-to-business sessions provided by TIC.
We do to some extent. What we try to do in our application process is have them identify some of the entities that can help them going forward and how they plan on engaging them to know. So it's not just a conversation, but it's a pointed conversation where it starts a lot of times before, where they know who they are getting involved with and how this company can benefit them. So we sometimes facilitate the conversations, or we, through the B2B aspect of the trade convention, those meetings are set up and the conversations continue afterwards. Depending on the type of support, we may also be able to provide guidance in terms of the contracts that are being offered sometimes, as well as link them with the more established agencies, whether it's Exim Bank, whether it's TVMA, that can help them, or through the Ministry of Trade, some of their programs that can help them to take advantage of this opportunity.
She notes that TIC is an opportunity for businesses to earn foreign exchange.
We have one of the persons that are displaying now, because we are now able to go on trade missions with larger entities like TTMA. One company is actually supplying sandals in Grenada with their product. So the turn on foreign exchange has begun.
Beckles spoke to Channel 5 News on the strides made during the TIC, which continue today and will culminate tomorrow. Beckles says the Tobago House of Assembly invested thousands of dollars to help local businesses participate in TIC. Beckles says the THA spent $11,000 on each exhibition booth, while participating businesses contributed between $1,800 and $2,500, depending on whether they were first-time or returning exhibitors. She says the investment gave Tobago small and medium-sized enterprises an opportunity to expand their reach beyond the island. The Tobago delegation included businesses offering beauty products, alcoholic beverages, clothing, and other locally manufactured goods and services. The Tobago Festivals Commission and Studley Park Enterprises Limited were also among the participants. According to Beckles, the convention delivered benefits beyond direct sales, providing valuable networking opportunities and helping businesses build new commercial relationships. The Trade and Investment Convention, hosted annually by the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association at the Center of Excellence in Macoya, is the Caribbean's largest business-to-business trade show, bringing together manufacturers, exporters, investors, buyers, and government agencies from across the region. The People's National Movement is accusing the United National Congress-led government of pursuing policies that it says are threatening Trinidad and Tobago's manufacturing sector. The claims were made during a PNM media briefing on Thursday, where the party raised concerns about what it described as measures that could undermine local manufacturers and the wider economy. Speaking at the news conference, PNM representative for San Fernando East, Brian Manning, criticized the government's approach, arguing that the policies could weaken domestic production, reduce competitiveness, and put jobs at risk.
The divestment of local Nestlé's operations would, of course, bring great consternation to many of the farmers in Trinidad and Tobago. There were 60 dairy farmers attached to Nestlé, and of course all of their dependents. They're the main producer of fresh milk in Trinidad and Tobago. It causes concern in that industry. And when we look at what it is this government has done in the manufacturing sector across the board, I think it's safe to say that the Trinidad and Tobago government has created a hostile environment for manufacturers in Trinidad and Tobago.
Manning said when the PNM controlled the government, it took special interest in preserving the manufacturing sector, the second largest generator of foreign exchange behind the energy sector. However, he said the UNC-led government has introduced measures to increase the cost of doing business in TNT.
One such treatment would have come from the Exim Bank, where they were able to access US dollars. Because they were generating US dollars, we allowed them to have access to US dollars so that we could increase the supply of US dollars locally. This government came into office and completely did away with that system. So now local manufacturers, including Nestlé, have been finding it very difficult to get the US dollars that they need to really perform and to operate their functions in Trinidad and Tobago.
He spoke more on the issue.
They also added an electricity surcharge. Now, manufacturing is an energy-intensive business, which means it mainly depends. One of its largest costs would be electricity. Trinidad and Tobago has the largest manufacturing sector in the CARICOM region. Now, that is because of the competitive advantage of low-cost electricity. This government saw it in its wisdom to dramatically add a commercial electricity surcharge to all manufacturers and commercial operators in Trinidad and Tobago, which has dramatically reduced that competitive advantage.
The MP said he was speaking in the context of Nestlé Limited's planned divestment of its local operations in Trinidad. Meanwhile, Trade and Investment and Tourism Minister Satya Kamaraj, who spoke to reporters at the Trade and Investment Convention at the Center of Excellence in Macoya, addressed the PNM's claims. He is quoted as saying, quote, "It's a real world, it's a cost of doing business, but everybody has to be competitive." companies make decisions. It's not the first country. Nestle is restructuring its business and focusing on other areas, but it's not closing on anything. They are selling it, and I'm hoping that our local entrepreneurs and business people will step up and fill that gap, end quote. Trinidad and Tobago's economy is showing mixed signs of recovery, with inflation remaining low, but government debt continuing to rise, according to the central bank's June 2026 economic data. The report shows headline inflation stood at just 0.7% at the first quarter of 2026, while unemployment remained relatively low at 4.3% at the end of 2025. The central bank also reported that gross official reserves stood at US $5.36 billion, equivalent to 6.2 months of import cover. Energy prices strengthened during the period, with West Texas Intermediate crude oil averaging US $72 a barrel in the first quarter, before climbing to more than US $99 per barrel in May amid global supply disruptions. Natural gas prices also increased. However, the report points to continued fiscal challenges. Adjusted general government debt rose to $148.4 billion, or nearly 85% of gross domestic product, while the fiscal deficit remained in negative territory. Meanwhile, private sector credit growth slowed to 4.2%, although commercial banks continued to hold more than $5 billion TT in excess reserves during the first quarter. The central bank says the data pack is intended to provide a comprehensive snapshot of domestic and international economic conditions to support policy decisions and public understanding of the country's economy. Trinidad and Tobago has successfully raised US $800 million through a sovereign bond issued on the United States market, with the Ministry of Finance describing the transaction as a strong vote on confidence in the country's economy. According to the ministry, the bond was oversubscribed by approximately 400%, the largest level of investor demand for a benchmark-sized Trinidad and Tobago bond since 2013. More than 150 investors from the United States, United Kingdom, Europe, the Caribbean, and local institutions competed for the offering, which carries a 6.2% coupon over a 12-year term. Over a 12-month term. Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku says the response demonstrates renewed international confidence in Trinidad and Tobago and reflects the government's economic policy direction. The ministry says the proceeds will be used to repay government notes maturing in August and to support general budgetary requirements. Officials say the bond also achieved a favorable pricing despite global economic uncertainty, strengthening Trinidad and Tobago's international investor base and extending the country's debt maturity profile. This is news on Channel 5 on Pulse 89.5 FM. We take a short break now.
Cathedral Credit Union is celebrating big. Get up to $81,000 at just 0.8% interest with our anniversary loan. And because Christmas is in the air, we're spreading cheer with up to $60,000 at only 1%. Visit cathedralcutt.com or call 235-6947 today. Cathedral Credit Union. Member-owned, member-focused.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Escape to elegance at Le Chateau Suites Tobago. Gated privacy, breathtaking villas, unforgettable memories. where Caribbean dreams become reality.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Welcome back to news here on Channel 5 and Pulse 89.5 FM. The Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society will launch its first 5K run in Tobago tomorrow. Shireen Mungal explains the event when she appeared as a guest on Tobago Channel 5's morning talk show Rise and Shine.
This is our first 5K, and we decided to launch it in Tobago. And like I said, we've been in Tobago for many, many years, partnering with THA, the regional authorities. And so we haven't had an event of this nature. So we come all the time, but we don't do activities like this. And we felt the time was right to do that, and we're grateful that we were able to partner with the THA and their Health and Wellness Prevention Division. And so our relationship is blossoming. We expect that this will be an annual event for us in Tobago. And we're learning as we go, but we're really excited.
She gave more details about the event, which is done in collaboration with the Tobago House of Assembly and Republic Bank under the theme 2 events, 1 cause.
The Relay for Life initiative is a partnership with the American Cancer Society. Trinidad and Tobago became a partner with them 4 years ago, and one of our mandates is to execute an event of this nature. It doesn't matter what the event is, really about bringing people and bringing communities together, but more importantly, it's driven by cancer survivors and survivorship. The moment you start your cancer journey, you become a survivor. And so it falls under the Global Relay for Life banner. It's about bringing people together, and it's about raising critical funds for the society and for the organizations who execute them.
The Cancer Society spokesperson said the Tobago Moves 5K and High Energy Burn session cost $150 for entry and promises to be an exciting event. She said events assist the society in its quest to educate people about cancer, keep fit, exercise, and eat healthily. The event, which takes place tomorrow from the Republic Bank Limited Orchid Square car park, is scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. Calypsonians in good financial standing with the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Calypsonians Organization, TUCO, will head to the polls on Sunday to elect a new national executive after the High Court declined to hold the election process. The decision follows an application by TUCO presidential hopeful Kurt Allen, who sought an injunction against 2 members of the organization's executive, Ainsley King and Sherlon Hendrickson, to stop the elections from proceeding. In a Facebook post on Thursday, TUCO confirmed the court had refused to grant the injunction and said preparations are continuing for Sunday's vote. The organization says its focus is now on conducting a free, fair, and transparent election for all members who have paid their membership dues. The national executive elections are scheduled for Sunday, July 12th, with eligible Calypsonians expected to choose a leadership that will guide the organization over the next term. Calypsonian Allen, the contender for TUCO's President King's post, has raised concerns over unreleased TUCO audit reports, alleged a lack of transparency surrounding executive payouts, and questioned the organization's financial accountability and governance. King Tobagonian has denied any wrongdoing, maintaining that the executive acted in accordance with Tobago's constitution and in the organization's best interest. The weather when we return. Stay tuned. Welcome back to news here on Channel 5 on Pulse 89.5 FM. Here's the weather for Friday, July 10th, 2026. Tonight initially fair but hazy with increasing cloudiness with isolated showers closer to midnight. Saharan dust concentrations will gradually reduce as the night progresses. Persons sensitive to these atmospheric changes should take the necessary precautions. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, slightly hazy and breezy with a few showers, some of which may get heavy during the morning and or periods of rain. There is also the low chance of the isolated thunderstorm. Night will be partly cloudy with isolated lingering showers. Winds may gust in or near heavier showers or thunderstorms. Winds are east to southeast, 5 to 40 kilometers per hour. Seas are moderate, waves in open waters up to 2.5 meters in sheltered areas, 1.5 meters, occasionally choppy. High tides are 12:09 a.m. and 1:44 p.m. Low tides 7:17 a.m. and 6:50 p.m. Sunrise at 5:46 a.m. and sunset at 6:30 p.m. Tomorrow's temperatures should reach a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius and fall to 24 degrees Celsius. Before we go, let's recap the headlines now. Education Division plans to track SAA students' performance throughout secondary school. Finance Division says TIC is an opportunity to expand Tobago's private sector. And Cancer Society launches first 5K in Tobago. That is for tonight at the Channel 5 News Desk. Have a good night and stay safe.